Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing? I'm gonna give some more people the opportunity to come into the room, but I saw Miss Tanya Jackson in here when I kind of logged in a little earlier. Thank you, Miss Tanya. I see Miss Clarinetta, I see Alvarez, and I see Miss Jacqueline, and I see Miss Anissa. And I'm gonna give some more people the opportunity to start coming into the room. I hope y'all doing okay this morning. Y'all, I gotta take care of some business, child. So I hey Jeff Lee. Hey, always love yourself first. So I decided to get on early so we could do about an hour or so. Hey, Player Co, Street Politics. Um, we're gonna give some more people the opportunity to come in. I hope you guys are doing okay today. I hope that you guys are doing okay today. Yeah, I've been getting so engulfed. Jeff Lee, what you think about that cold case I did on Dr. Cheryl Pearson? Do you remember that case? The pediatrician that went missing from out of Memphis, and I think one of hey Phyllis and Devin, I think one of the reasons Dr. Cheryl's case is not solved is because Bartlett got that case. Hey, Open Book, Bartlett is a suburb in Memphis. They don't really have cases, a whole lot of cases like that. I said on the outskirts of Memphis, but Bartlett is in Memphis. Hell, it's just another little division, another little city in Memphis. Um, but with her, I mean, no traces at all for her to be missing. Hey, Miss Akia. Hey, Joy Loves God. For her to be missing like that without a trace, and nobody knows what has happened. Nobody knows what has happened to her. Hey, I think that's weird. It's really weird. That was in 2000 January of 2002. A prominent doctor, and they have not. They don't know a damn thing. But I'm gonna tell you what I found weird because I did some research, and I just was scratching the surface just the other day, out of respect for but they said that they had looked at her brother-in-law. I don't. It's okay for them to look at people. He was never a suspect. Just because you're questioned, don't necessarily mean that you are a suspect. Okay. Um, and they said he was never a suspect, but he is very prominent in Memphis now. Like, even I mean, he just kind of he's in. He has construction businesses. I think he's part owner of that Chuckles Club. I think her sister went back to school and became a physical therapist. But that means nothing though. I don't know. I think, a lot of people think that she got in her car and left. I don't necessarily believe that. I believe that somebody called her. I think somebody called her to see if she was at home. They was watching her house because her friends had been there. Hell, I ain't sure. It's something weird about that. Her friends stayed until 1 a.m. And after her friends left, that's when the person called from the payphone. Unless it was a jealous somebody she was dating, and they thought a man or something was there. They rang the phone to see what she. It's just it is very weird. But I don't think that she left. I think whoever it was came to that house and she let him in or something. I mean, I do. I just kind of do. Because if it was a robbery, she had $140 in her car. They found $140 in her car. They found her bank card, I think, and they found her Grizzlies tickets, but it wasn't no fingerprints, not even hers. So Jeff said, "Yeah, I remember that. I used to live in Bartlett. I moved one zip code over. The case is weird. I think it will come to light, though. Yeah, I hope so. It's been 20 years. Yeah, it's been 20 years exactly. going on 21. Her father has passed on now. Um, like I said, I know her mother loves her, but when I reached out to her mom, her mother was like, I got to protect my grandkids. So, and Cheryl didn't have no children. She talking about her sister's kids. So, um, let's see. Me Too abruptly left with someone. She wouldn't leave her medication or phone. Absolutely. Hey, I am She Johnson. Okay, you guys. Today I wanted to talk about Young Dolph's case. I just felt it in my spirit. We're gonna always talk about, Young Dolph's case. And we talk about the Young Dolph's case really to kind of keep it to keep the energy up as it relates to um justice for him. As far as trying to solve the case, as I've said before, when you've got the FBI, the Memphis police investigators, and the DEA out there, and ain't no telling who else, TBI, no, FBI, you wouldn't need us, right? But sometimes people come into the chats and they provide clues. I think because I know a lot of investigators look at a lot of this stuff. So when you have people that are crazy, that's how you know when you ain't got everybody, because they'll come into the chats and start doing crazy stuff, and it gives the investigators the opportunity to trace their dumb asses back to see whose camp that they are connected to, right? Hey, phenomenal black woman. So I want us to talk about the Young Dolph's case because, as I said before, Young Dolph case, I think so many people are interested in Young Dolph's case um because first of all, Young Dolph was as I always say, he was a celebrity. It was heinous in nature, and then there were always attempts on his life. There were always attempts. There have been a couple that we knew of. So it was like somebody was consistently trying to hunt him down like he was an animal, right? You know, and I want to say this because someone has sent me an email, and they was talking about someone has sent me an email about Key Glock being banned from the um awards. But of course, I think someone had asked Key Glock about that. Hey, D Hop. Hey, Deshaun. Who is Maurice? Uh, uh, King Deshaun. And Key Glock says that he didn't go to the awards because he didn't want to go. So that makes me feel better. Although I don't really know why he didn't go, what happened, but he did address it, okay? Because someone had said something to him in his chat. Um, oh, okay. And so, anyways, the reason why we're so engulfed, I think in this case, is because of that. All of the history behind them trying, whoever it was trying to take him out, all of that, okay? All of that history behind all of that. And so I always tell people, don't be don't get don't get so caught up in a desperation, right? Because when you have all of those federal agencies partnered with the local Memphis Police Department, he can't lose. Okay, so that's why if I don't throw stuff out. Well, maybe this person did, but I don't do shit like that. First of all, I'm an investigator by profession. You know what I mean? No attorney, and believe me when I tell you, you have attorneys from out of the DA's office, okay, and which I do contracted work for, and the federal prosecutors and these lawyers, criminal defense lawyers. If I was throwing shit out like that, they would think I was damn crazy. They wouldn't want to hire me. I wouldn't hire me because that's not how you do it. But I understand with all the stuff on TV, a person is not a suspect just because the public say that they're a suspect. As open as they've kind of been with who are suspects and things of that nature and persons of interest in Young Dolph's case, a person of interest and a suspect is different. They have been very open with that. They don't have secret suspects. Hell, they'll tell you what this person is being looked at. I think they've kind of been very open. So I don't throw stuff out there because I know people doing their job. And just because it looks suspicious don't mean that you be accusatory. You get lawsuits and shit like that if they really want to. Okay. I know, you hear I know people kind of open themselves up when they're public figures and things of that nature. When people start talking about his artists and um things of that and people start talking about his artists and things of that nature. I was told by credible sources his artists didn't have nothing to do with it. I believe what the people who are on the inside say. That's what I believe. And I can't understand how people have issues because their mind tell them that somebody is a damn suspect, and they have issues because I believe what the people on the inside that would know say. Well, I had think that you must have been involved in it. Retarded. Excuse my French. Just not retarded, but mentally ill. I'll say that because I don't like to say the word retarded. Mentally ill. That's what it is. Mentally sick, really. Because I say it. That's what it's supposed to be. Y'all know I don't get down like that. I don't like for people to think that they can manipulate and control me or bully me. That pisses me off. Okay. So I say I'm rocking with the folks that's got all of the evidence that's on the inside working this, that's got the paperwork and shit coming all through their office and stuff with everything on it. I rock with them. I don't rock with people that's on the outside that don't know. And I'm sure not going to accuse. And when I say rock with them, I'm not going to accuse nobody just because somebody say I need to. Okay? I don't. That's not how I do it. That's not how an investigation works. Okay? A person can be suspicious, and trust me, the people that are involved with this know that. That's the reason why you see them taunting. You see them taunting a little bit because they know they don't think fat meat greasy. They don't think that they're gonna be charged, or they probably think they can't be. They know that they got to get the evidence. But the thing about it is, in the back of their head, they don't know how much they got. Hell. Finley says, why did the Memphis police go to God and Mama's restaurant and protect them after Dolph got killed? Let me tell you something, Finley. Well, hey, Chief Davis, I don't know let me just say this. If police were called to go to a restaurant, and I'm glad you brought that up, Finley. If police was calling, and Chief Davis tried to skate around that a little bit, if you listen to the people that know, you can really come up with some stuff. Your mind ain't got to go way out into deep sea and try to conjure up nothing. They pretty much, if you go back to the beginning, that's why I always try to take y'all back to the beginning. There are always gems. The first thing that came to my mind is when they said that the police went over there to that restaurant, it was because somebody, probably more than likely the owners, called the police to go protect the restaurant. Why? I don't know. Were there threats? It had to have been. The police didn't just go over there on their own. They went over there because they was called to go over there by somebody that has an interest in their restaurant because there were threats. Now, people say, and I don't know this now. I can't say that I know this because I don't. I've heard that it was shot up. I don't know about that. I don't know if it was shot up. I don't really believe that, but I don't know. It could have been. But in order for them to go over there, it was because they was dispatched over there. In order to be dispatched over there, somebody asked, called the police and said the restaurant need to be protected. Okay, it's not something that they just thought off the top of their head. That's how it works. So when Chief Davis started kind of skating around that a little bit, and then she said, y'all stay inside if you can, don't go out. She did not want to send pandemonium throughout the city, but that was kind of letting us know it's some mess going on, and it's some serious mess. Okay, Player Co says they did get threats saying that it was go get shot up. So that kind of lets you know that the people right around Dolph knew something. People sit up, especially people that don't live in Memphis, but the people that live in Memphis know it was World War III. It was Memphis, Afghanistan for real. After that young man was killed, when they ain't spending for Dolph. How you know? You don't live in Memphis. We are the ones. I live on the outskirts now. I was living in Memphis at that time. Okay. Well, if a close friend works dispatch open book, the way that it works with dispatch, somebody has to call. She cannot just take it up on herself. Now, she could have got on her cell phone and said, look here, call the police and tell them to, because it has to be on record. As a dispatcher, she cannot take it up on herself to just send somebody over there. Her ass to be out the door and she going to face some charges. They don't play that down there. They don't play stuff like that. A dispatcher cannot take it up on herself without a call that is recorded, because all calls are recorded and logged, to send somebody to a restaurant. They had to make that call. Now, she could have texted on her cell phone and said, you need to call so we could send somebody over there. But somebody had to get their asses on the phone and get a damn address so that the police could go over there. Okay? And I do believe that there was threats. So if there were threats at that restaurant and then it was Memphis, Afghanistan, don't y'all think that the people right around Dolph knew what happened from the beginning? Okay, everybody, and I'm sure that they was, you heard Chief Davis say from the very beginning that it has been fast moving. It has been fast moving. Like I said, that's why they have vloggers getting on here trying to find witnesses disguised as we trying to solve the young Dolph's case, but actually they was put on here, they was paid to get on here to try to find witnesses so they can go missing and so that they could be intimidated. As I said, I love the fact that Chief Davis, okay, likes to partner with the FBI and the federal entities, because one thing we do know about the federal entities is that with the FBI, they have unlimited resources and money. Okay, so there is no doubt, because there's the capability to do it. There is no doubt, okay, that those phone towers, okay, that was in the area, they have gotten all of the records of every phone, and even if they were burner phones, and every text, because they have the capability of doing that. How y'all think they solved that case? They was able to solve that case with Sweetie Pies. Okay, somebody tipped them off, but then they was able to go and pull phone records. They thought they was safe because they had burner phones. They pulled every damn text message they had from a damn burner phone because they're able to do that. Everybody that had a phone that was in that area, they're able to get the records off of, get the records. Okay. Pretty Face said, why would the police allow the cookie shop employees inside of the bakery doing an act of crime? We don't know. We don't know how long it was after that the people went into that cookie shop. I don't know. Those are answers that I don't have. But if you're getting that the police had something to do with the crime, I don't believe that, Pretty Face. Period. Okay. So, anyways, it's up to the new DA. Do you really think he's really interested in the case, Queen? I do. The assistant district attorneys like Paul Hagerman, like all of the rest of those district attorneys that was there, actually one of them who was already there, a guy who had ran for judge. I don't know if y'all remember Hey, rest in peace, young dog. I don't know if y'all remember that one day I did a live. I had gone to this little meeting, and it was a lot of judges, a lot of people running, DAs that was running for judges. And I told y'all about there was this DA in there, assistant DA in there, from downtown, and he was talking about how the police had ran through his yard. And he was like, I didn't know what was going on. I was standing through my yard. He said, I saw a guy shoot from my backyard, jump my fence, shoot from my backyard. And he said, and then I was like, what the hell is going on? He said, a few minutes later, I saw the police come from my backyard. He was like, I was like, well, hell. He said it dawned on him that they was chasing somebody. So then he started running. He said so he decided to call over to the FBI. They got the damn sky cam, and he was like, I look like a fool running and trying to see what the hell was going on. And he said, you should have seen me. I mean, I was like, well, damn, he can make a call over there to the FBI and get sky cams to so that they, and we were falling out laughing at how I looked. Okay. I think he promoted him, the new DA, that guy that was in there that day, and he was a cool guy. Okay, he's promoted to like the right next to him. So all the people that had already worked in that DA's office, they still there. They're the ones that actually do the work. He'd be crazy to get rid of them, and they are the ones that actually do the work. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I be trying to read y'all comments and stuff. They be moving fast, so when y'all hear me pause, it's because I be trying. They be moving so fast, I catch some of them. Okay. Player Co has said something. I was trying. It moved up too fast. Okay. So so I think I said to you guys, they have the technology and the capabilities of doing any and everything. I was there's this, I'm going to show that it's a cold case that I'm working on right now. And actually, I was such close friends with the guy. I started on it and then I stopped. And then one of my friends over in homicides had got promoted, and he he started working on the case. The case was given to him, and so I kind of pulled back because I was like, I'm happy that he got the case. Well, since this Dolph's case been going on, they've been full force on this Dolph's case. Okay, so I haven't, his case. Anyways, to make a long story short, y'all gonna see a video that I'm going to do about that. But when I was working on, when I initially, his case had gone cold and I started working on the case, I started getting out and talking to people and things of that nature. I went to the different businesses that had the video. The video had deleted itself. The guy was like, his footage on his video had deleted itself. So what I did was, normally when stuff like that happens, I could call over to well, maybe I shouldn't say that, but they have capabilities of doing and getting anything. Nothing. Even if a video is deleted and you think that it is deleted permanently, they have a system that can reconstruct the video. Do y'all understand what I'm talking about? Nothing is ever made to supersede what the government can do. I don't understand how people are crazy enough to think that they can. That's the reason why I always say I don't worry about Dolph's case, because it's handled. It ain't getting handled. Hell, that shit handled. It's just the waiting process. If you listen to a lot of the investigators and a lot of different law enforcement officers, they always say you have to let the system work. You have to let it work. But we get extremely anxious, but it's just a process. We just have to let it work, right? It ain't no way around it. So anyways, I have been talking about how there's a rapper named oh, absolutely. A rapper that named FBG Duck. And I think I was saying some weeks ago, I was like, y'all, I had never really started looking at FBG Duck other than um, you know, his listen to his music and how he was a good rapper, very versatile. They took him out. They took that boy out because they was jealous of him because he started moving forward. He had been dissing back and forth with what's that rapper name? What's the rapper name that they was dissing back and forth to that owned the label that's got the blonde hair? I can't think of his name right now. But as soon as that boy got a deal and his music videos started getting more views than that camp, they decided to take out their competition. Yeah, rest in peace to King Von, but the King Von is gone, but the other one is Dirk. That's who it is. It's Dirk. I think Dirk kind of put King Von up to do a whole lot of stuff. He put he like somebody else I know. Okay. And then Dirk is the one that's, it's his label. He gonna get all the money and stuff when everybody else in jail and the retaliation is up on the other people and all of that. But anyways, FBG Duck case, I think I was saying to y'all, I did a show about it. I said, y'all pay close attention to that FBG Duck case. Okay. Because with that FBG Duck case, I just see a lot of similarities in that case and in the Dolph's case. Chicago, I ain't, I don't like the way they let that boy lay out there and die because that boy lived 22 minutes. He could have lived. The hospital, they said, was 3-4 minutes up the street. They was wrong for that. Okay. But with the FBG Duck case, they shot that boy down like a dog. If you look at some of his other videos, he was talking about, he had a bag on his head. He said, I get a deal, now I got a bag on my head. Okay. With the what the Chicago police did do, okay, and they might have did this, and I'm glad they did do it. They made his murder case into a Rico case. Okay. And I know a lot of people have been, from the very beginning, because of, if you look months back, if they ain't deleted my videos, so they delete videos, was deleting my videos, hacking my account, deleting my videos. And I was talking about that. I'd heard maybe one or two more other vloggers say that, as far as a Rico. And I've always believed that because of number one, the feds were involved. See, when I was saying back in January, the feds was involved, people was like, it ain't no federal case. The feds ain't involved. Hell, I had to get the video, go back to the video. And then when the news started saying, when the police department was kind of open with it, yeah, our federal entities are involved. I told y'all, I was told that the feds got involved early on. And I said it, and that's because it was more than likely a murder for hire in the very beginning. Not only was it a murder for hire, it's an organization where they probably got people, and just we finding out more stuff now. They just putting hits on folks and they get mad at them. You go hit them for me. That's an organization. Okay. And so I think now that's why we're starting to see when people say, well, they just getting that person on a lower level. Sometimes that's how you have to do it. People, the feds don't, I can't understand how people can talk they mess, and the feds got what, a 98% conviction rate. They investigate, they got the resources, they got everything. They're the investigators. They're the ones that can make the arrest. They can make the bust. They can do it all. That's why I trust them. Okay. Yeah, it's messing with these rappers. Joy Loves God says it seems like that he's a manipulator. Yeah, they was wrong for leaving Duck on the ground so long. Somebody should be fired. Absolutely. And the city should be sued. I would try to break the bank on them. The boy sat up and said, y'all not going to help me? Okay, he was alert. He did not die. I was looking at that video and it's hurtful. When they put that boy on the gurney, I saw his eyes go straight up in the air. He had died. He lived 22 minutes and the hospital was 4 minutes up the street and the ambulance was out there. The ambulance was out there. The police would not let the ambulance get through, talking about we got to make sure that the shooters ain't still out here. We got to secure the scene. Are you serious? And this boy laying there dying and suffering. Okay. Y'all, please hit the like button. It's 120 people in here and you ain't hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Please. Okay. Yeah, I seen that. Rest in peace, young Dolph. Yeah, you can't be putting hits on nobody and paying money. That's a federal crime anyways. Okay. So do I believe that, a lot of people, if you listen to Paul Hagerman, even in the beginning, and I reference them because they are the people, okay? They are the people that's working this and that would know. Paul Hagerman said, okay, this is just the beginning. We're just in the beginning, okay? She said, are there going to be any more arrests? He says, it's ongoing. I'm telling y'all, it is. I had been telling y'all that from the beginning. I said, y'all, it's going to be some more indictments. Hell, I started saying that back in January. Hell, when I was told back in, July? Hell, I just went in there to get an assignment. And somebody told me, girl, let's get ready to be an indictment. I said, for real? That was a Friday. Trayon was indicted that Monday. Okay? He was indicted that Monday. Okay? So do I think so? I do. You don't have that many federal, and you talk about the DEA, that's the Drug Enforcement Administration. You have to wonder, with the DEA being involved, what kind of weight that's being pushed. Okay? You have to think about all of this stuff, like all of the rumors about why, Dolph was taken out, all the rumors about why he was taken out, everybody wanted to be the plug and when I hear rumors like that, they took him out because one of the reasons they took him out because somebody had wanted to be the plug. And so then I kind of take stuff like that with a grain of salt when I hear that in the beginning, right? Then when I hear that the DEA is involved, I said, well, hell, the people in the street know. A lot of them that ain't lying, that's out there in the street, they would know. Okay. So when you start seeing knowing that the DEA is involved, that would make it seem like that something like that is true, because they deal with drugs and large amount of drugs. Okay, because if it's got to be something on a um I'm multitude. I guess I'm looking for the word. Okay, um it's got to be something real big, enormous, something on an enormous level. If not, vice and narcotics, hell, they got the police department got a vice and narcotics organized crime unit. That's up under vice and narcotic, where they go and do drug busts. So if the DEA is involved, that's a federal organization. Drug Enforcement Administration. You have to wonder, what in the hell kind of weight being pushed, and why is it that they working with this young Dolph's case? Okay, you have to wonder. So when you start seeing that all of these federal entities are involved, it couldn't be nothing but a Rico getting ready to happen. And so that's why when I say these Negroes, when they was getting on here, I think they got the memo, sending threats. They have always redirected the people back to themselves. Okay. Shay said all these rappers dying, and for what? Jealousy and envy is so sad. How we're killing our absolutely. We're killing for the love of money, and we're killing just because. But here's the thing, y'all. That is the jealousy is the cancer that is in our community. It's a cancer. We're taking out people because we're jealous of them. People that have the capabilities of helping to bring the Black community out of bondage and laying a blueprint. Okay? Laying a blueprint. Everybody should have been proud of Dolph. I'm talking about even those slaves that's within the industry that's getting raked over the coals by a lot of these record heads and companies, right? So they should have been proud of Dolph. It's gonna be hard, little nigga, but hey, I'm proud of you. Do your thing. They should have been proud of him, but instead of being proud of him, y'all, they wanted to destroy him. And the thing about our community is a lot of our community feel like they are so much powerful with destroying other Black people when they have people of other races behind them. And I'm gonna tell you something, that people of other races don't get behind. First of all, they don't like Black people. Let's a lot of them don't. Let's just be honest. A lot of them don't. And they never get behind you, okay? Unless they have an agenda. That's the reason why you saw so many foreigners involved in this young Dolph case, helping these folks to terrorize YouTube. Because a lot of them are in the music industry, and it ain't got nothing to do with them liking the person that they helping. Hell no, they want to hide behind that person. It's got everything to do with their interest of wanting to take over the industry. Also, Black people in the industry are only supposed to be slaves. The moment that they open their eyes to being taken advantage of, cutting out the middleman, oftentimes cutting down a few people, that they have been told is supposed to get their money. They figure out, well, we ain't got to do it like this, so we can cut out a few people. Immediately they want to take that person out. They don't ever want that person to be able. They want to blackball that person. And Dolph had already made a whole lot of money, so you can't blackball a person that's making all kinds of money. He was able to creep up from out of nowhere, and by the time he sprouted up, I mean, it was a genius thing to do. He already had his money. He didn't get in and saying, well, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, blah blah blah. The dude went somewhere and got his money up, because he probably figured they would try to blackball him. You can't blackball somebody that's balling. Even those that wanted to hate on him. Okay, a lot of these rappers that was secretly hating on him when he would ask them to do a feature. Hell, they spent all their money on crack, and they spent all their money on crack and women, prostitutes. Okay, they spent all their money on crack and prostitutes and fake ass jewelry. So when even if they was playing both sides, they wanted to hate Dolph. He called him, how much I'm gonna pay you in cash. I mean, you got a nose habit. Your nose got a habit. So even if you wanted to be loyal to his opposition, your nose wouldn't let you, because you got to put something up in it. He paying in cash. So they don't even like him. They all on features, because he was able to pay them what they asked for. Half of them was already washed up anyways. They overcharging him, but he got the money to pay it. Damn. I'm charging 40,000 for a feature. I've been washed up. He gave it to me, but I can go get me some cocaine with that. That's what they do. Rest in peace, Young Dog says Wu and Bands dropped a banger today. They tape drop on the 14th. Shout out to Snoop Bands and Paper Route Wu. Make sure y'all go and get y'all go upload or stream their music. Okay. I support Spree. It's pre all day over here. Okay. So I support Paper Route Wu and Snoop Bands, and I support Key Glock. Key Glock got an album coming out too. Make sure y'all make him number one. Make him higher than number one. Since folks paying to make their artists number one and stuff on the chart, and they paying for awards and stuff. Let's make his organic. Let's make him higher than number one. Okay, we could do that. Let's make him higher than number one. When they start trying to cheat and pay for stuff and say, well, this both of them number one now, he higher than number one. Okay. And do the same thing with Snoop Bands and Woo. But y'all, these Rico cases, I do believe it's coming. I've been saying it. Like I said, I like I said, when people were saying that I didn't know what I was talking about way back, I did hear, and I gotta be honest, I did hear about two other female vloggers talk about a Rico. Okay. But I heard a lot of other people saying that ain't no federal case. She don't know what she's talking about. People was getting in my comments. She don't know what she's talking about. I said, well, hell, I done told y'all. I was told that the FBI was involved. Then later on, I was able to go find a video. I had never even seen it. Where, Chief Davis was saying we've partnered with the FBI. Okay. So, y'all, hey, with the young dog situation, I wish that it had not happened, but this organized crime has been going on too long. Okay. You can't have a system where you can call somebody to go take somebody out because you want to be the plug. You don't want somebody to be in competition with you and your artist, whoever. And I'm just saying in general, I ain't accusing nobody. I'm just saying in general, you and your artist, and you feel like can't nobody diss me. And I'm just talking about any artist in general. You can't diss me and get away with it. I have an organization. We organized. I got some hitters. Okay. So I'm gonna send one of my little hitters to hit you up. Okay. I want to be the plug now. Okay. I want to be the plug. Okay. So we gonna have a meeting, and then I'm gonna decide on which one of my hitters gonna come for you. Cause I got to corner the market. That's why the DEA out there. Okay. So whoever thought that they was gonna corner the market, nigga, you ain't. Okay. You're gonna have more charges. Okay. Pretty face Nene says Dolph's hustle was a threat to the industry. These people taking all the wrong ones out. Absolutely, I agree. Let's go Bands and Woo. Shout out to Snoop Bands and Woo. Diane says I'm so pre until I can't see nothing else. Still wanting to be in the street junk. Joy Loves God says them ninjas was pocket watching Dolph and was jealous and obsessed with his success. Low life clowns. They gonna figure they if they ain't already figured it out. Cause see, some of these folks, I think no. Let me tell y'all something. Let me just make this clear. Hold on, y'all. I got a head cold. Let me put y'all on mute while I blow my nose. Okay, hold on. Y'all know I'm real. I don't. I Dolph always just knew he would live to see 50. Always Popo on the payroll, just saying. Well, we need to be trying to figure out who they are so that we can report them to the FBI. And because I be hearing people say that there are crooked police officers. We need to be trying to figure out who they are. So, because I don't doubt it. I don't believe any of those investigators. See, um people be getting the patrolmen and the investigators mixed. They don't do the same thing. The investigators were once patrolmen, now they're promoted. The patrolmen just patrol around the city. They can make arrests. They take them to be interrogated by the investigators. Okay. But if there are any patrolmen that are out there being crooked, what we have to do is since people know that is happening, they need to identify who those patrolmen are. Even if you don't have the proof, you need to have the name. And you can always go to IAB, that's internal affairs, or you can go to over to the FBI and they will put them up under surveillance. Okay. But it can't be, you can't say now, my mind told me this. My mind had told me this. I had just thought that because my mind had said it. No, they're gonna think you a 603. Okay. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They're gonna think you a 603. You can't just, your mind can't tell you nothing without some type of proof. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Rest in peace, young dog. Said, read my comment, T. Uh uh the one that says Dolph always just knew he would live to see 50. Wow. So because 50 is still kind of young. I mean, a person, God says, I give you 75. After 75, you living on grace. These niggas taking these folks out of here at 20 some because they see their potential. That's the reason why I'm glad that the FBI is it has decided that they're going to get their asses and get them in jail for the rest of their life. So some of these folks can live to see their children and stuff grow up and not be hated just because they get on YouTube and have a difference of opinion. Because I think some of these vloggers going to be tied up in some of these Ricos because of some of the stuff that they are doing. Okay. And just because they dare to be great, you're supposed to be able to make a living for your family. Okay. You're supposed to be able to do that. Okay. Without somebody taking you out of here. It's crazy on a whole nother level that people are being taken out just because of the greatness that is on their life. That's something that they got to take up with God. That's just something that they got to take up with God. Instead, they're trying to take out young men and women because they see the potential. Now they getting them when they see the potential. Oh, hell, he got a lot of potential. He a threat. Let's take him out. Nigga, you're not going to shine forever. As a matter of fact, you're going to go to jail. And they are not doing it. Okay? They getting other people to do it. And these young men are messing their lives up. They messing up other kids' lives, other folks' children's lives. And that's the reason why you can see people, they walk around like they ain't got a care in the world and like they're okay, because some of them probably feel like that they ain't gonna be touched because all I did was instigate it. Some folks are so manipulative, they know how to gas other people up to go do their dirty work, and then they go unscathed. You know, I think about the situation, like I said, with FBG Duck. You've heard a lot of people say that, Lil Durk sent out a lot of those dudes. And if you look at them now, where are they at? Who is the only person that is really benefiting? And that's Durk. He done got himself in some trouble now because he was on video. The Bible says your sins will catch up, which it'll find you out. I don't know how he gonna get out of that one. But a lot of the little dudes that they said he was accused of sending out because he was the record head, they're either no longer here with us or they are doing life sentences, and he is the only one that is benefiting because according to the streets, he was the one, he just sent them out. He egged that on. He sent him out. And see, that's what oftentimes people will do. You know, I look at Dirk's attorney. She looks scary. They need to go on here and Rico her. Some of these attorneys, you know what, even in this young Dolph's case, because I had heard this from a reliable source, some of these attorneys have put themselves with their teams in some real iffy situations where they're gonna be having, if they ain't already knocked at the door, FBI gonna be knocking at their door quick. I mean soon. Okay. Because people get real grimy. It's all about control. That's the reason my videos was being deleted. You're going to do what I want you to do, or else I'm going to torture you. That's what it is. And that is what happens within our community. Our people are very sick, a lot of them. Okay? Or I can see the greatness on your life, and we're going to try to assassinate you one way or the other, because I had gotten some emails where the person was telling me how they plot hits on YouTube. Of course, that was forwarded onto the FBI. In great detail. All because you have a bunch of crabs in a barrel mentality type people that feel like I'm supposed to own all of this, right? It's sad on a whole nother level what is going on in our community. Okay. Tamil 8, they said this stuff been happening on YouTube. Even before I even got on YouTube. They said it had been happening. As far as plotting hits on people. And it's still going on. From my understanding. Okay. So I I think that it's sad on so many levels what our community does. And now they mad because, you know, the Rico. I believe that there's going to be a Rico. I do know that there's going to be other indictments. That I can say. Okay. But as far as the Rico, I believe that there's going to be a Rico. I believe that. Okay. Alvarez says they hire a lawyer to be their private confidant. Some of these lawyers so crooked. They end up what happens is a lot of the federal government has started going at a lot of these lawyers because they absolutely cross the line. See, they feel like they know the law and they have the law to protect them. And they'll say, "Well, this is supported by the law. That's supported by the law," but they end up stepping over the line. Some they do a lot of crooked stuff. They have teams that get on the internet to try to harass and intimidate anybody that goes against their client. Now that's a fact. Some of these, that's their strategy. They help some of these vloggers who work for them to get personal information and docs. It has happened. People that they feel is going against their client to scare them. All right. That's how they scare them. Right. And then a lot of it is on the black market, and these foreigners have taught them, you know, to go get it. But a lot of this stuff was already happening before I even got on YouTube, you know, because I'm hearing a lot of it was happening in okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. Um Letitia says these other states need to follow suit. Catalea says, good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone? Hello, Catalea. Joy loves God. So y'all, I can't, I can't wait to start seeing, and I don't know everything in the Young Dolph's case, and I don't want to know everything. I don't think Dolph got overkill. What I hate about the whole, yeah, they overkilled him because they had to make sure, and I've said this before, they had to make sure that he could never get up and get on camera and say that y'all think this was over. They had to make sure that he could not get up and get on camera. I mean, get up and go do another song equivalent to 100 shots and then get over 100 and something million views. They had to make sure of that. So for me, I have to wonder, in the end, was it even worth it? Was it worth it? You take a man from his family because you want to corner the damn weed market, a market you ain't gonna corner? Because when you get all these damn shade tree hitmen, it's a damn shame to be a hitman and the feds know who you are. And it all goes back to what I say about how these men put themselves in a position, and these young men put themselves in a position because they think they get ready to get riches. It talks about in the Bible how the devil has always tricked people with riches. Even when he tried to trick God, and God says, I rebuke you, Satan. I shall not live by bread alone. Okay? He tried to trick Jesus. Okay? He tried to trick Job. He said, why don't you just curse God and die? But Job hung on in there. He worked at getting everything back that the devil had tried to steal. Okay? And then God gave it back to him 2 or 3 times more. But see, people don't want to wait. They don't want to go through the process. I want it right now. And if this person stands in the way, as a matter of fact, this person has worked hard. I want theirs. You don't know what a person has gone through to get what they got. Hell, if you get it, you can't maintain it because you don't know what they went through. Oftentimes, folks be jealous and want what other folks got. They don't know the process that person went through. You ain't willing to stay up all night and not sleep for 48 hours to make a hit. You ain't willing to do it. So people get jealous and they automatically want what somebody else got. He got that big house. I'm going to kill that nigga. And it ain't nothing to get a bunch of unstable, jealous young people. Their lives already ain't been the best. Young nigga, I'll give you 20 grand. 20 grand? 20 grand ain't nothing. It ain't, you can't even live off 20 grand in a year. But because it's more money than what they've ever had, they'll go take somebody's life, and the next thing they know, they can't even buy a car with 20 grand. They done tricked it off on all kinds of women. They go, first thing they go do is buy a $10,000 chain. That's half of it right there. What you gonna do with the other 10 grand? You can't buy a house or nothing. You still living in South Memphis in the trenches. If you sneeze, you'll fall through the floor. And I'm not talking bad. I love South Memphis. I grew up in South Memphis. I love it. Those are my people. But I'm telling the truth. So they trick these these emotionally unstable kids that have already been on Ritalin. Their mama didn't do them no justice, putting them on Ritalin because she wanted extra income, didn't know that the government was tricking her and it was eating at the mercury at their brain, putting them on their Ritalin. So a job has already been done on them. Okay. So then they get with some of these OGs that they look up to. They really think that they get ready to come up. You can't come up off of destroying somebody else's life. God ain't gonna let it happen. and got the nerve to get mad at the damn government. Be quiet, Remy. Get mad at the damn government. Remy, I can talk if I want to. She trying to sleep. She don't want me to talk. Okay? Got the nerve to get mad at the darn federal government. Okay? Because they gonna Rico their asses. The community needs it. It couldn't be nothing better for Memphis than for them to get them, the limbs and the leaves on the tree, as well as the root of the tree. That's why I love the FBI so much. I love them. Okay? So, do I believe it's going to be a Rico? Absolutely. Shit, yes, I believe it. Lord knows I believe it. Do I believe that it's gonna be more indictments? No, I don't believe that. I know that. The person that told me I ain't told no lie. They don't. She didn't, or he don't. Ain't got no reason to lie. Whoever it was, he or she. Okay. She said, Remy, Peter is being Peter, she being mean to Remy want to sit up here and growl and bark and stuff because she don't want me to talk. I'm talking loud and she laying down and she don't want me to say nothing. She don't like for me to disturb her child. She act like she paid a mortgage on my house. Buy some dope instead of buying a truck and get their own biz. I remember early on, some bloggers were saying the FBI isn't on the case. Right. They were saying, they was talking about me. I went into, I'm going to tell you something. And that's the reason why I have a lot of respect for Sauce. I remember this vlogger and he didn't even know that I was in his vlog. Because you know, when I first really started vlogging, it was only a few vloggers that I went over to. And I would go over to Sauce vlog. And I wasn't saying nothing. I wasn't even typing in the chat. And this guy posted in his chat, Tamara said, that girl Tamara said that it's gonna be the feds are involved. She talking like it's gonna be a Rico. And I saw how he looked and he was reading the comment. He said, well, you know, I don't know. Maybe she talking about something to come because she be knowing what she talking about. He ain't talk about. That's why I got a lot of respect for him. He was real. He didn't know I was in his chat. He ain't try to talk about me or nothing. But at that point, I started to see how two-faced some of these people behind these pages can be, because they did that to try to get him to talk about me. Okay. Miss T, I need to make sure I have my sweet bitch and popcorn ready for. Okay, we on indictment watch anyways. Joy Loves God says in the Rico, I hope they go back to BY renting a car in Charlotte if it's not considered double jeopardy. Well, it wouldn't. I don't think it would be double jeopardy for him because it would be double jeopardy for the young man that has already been convicted. I don't think charges were brought against him, so he can, you know. Anyway, these vloggers need to shut up. Just talking and talking. I can't stand people that talk too much. Foolishness. What is 603? 603 is a code for a mentally ill person. That's police code for a mentally ill person. So if you ever hear them say 603, they might be calling you crazy. A mental person that probably has to be taken to the mental institution. Letitia says, sure is T. Tamara Hope for Rico for Dolph and Mo 3. Atlanta just did a Rico of 2 more gang. Oh, wow. I'll be glad. I'm tired of all these fools. He rented the car and let them have it. Rest in peace, Young Dolph. Who rented the car and let them have it? We going so fast. Rest in peace, Young Dolph. Who rented the car and let them have it? Um, Tamara, you are correct. I'm a mental social worker. Yeah. Letitia Wing says the boys left a lot of trails back to themselves. They sure did. All black youngster. Oh, Funny ain't playing neither. I'm gonna tell you what I think Memphis is doing. I think Memphis is waiting. Sometimes people just wait to get everybody in the bulk. Sometimes, you know. Monica said the federal indictments normally come on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But yeah, they did. You know, like I said, as it relates to the Young Dolls case, everything that you really need to know is if you go back to the beginning, you'll see. Okay, you will see. Um, Thank you, Colin Jones. I appreciate that. Black dumpster like men anyway, so he will be right at home in prison. Trails and talking equals Rico. Um, be while watching your chat in bed playing footies with Devin Burns. Definitely a 603. Oh Lord, I'm telling you, Devin Burns. You know what? When I saw Devin Burns on when I saw Devin Burns on that in court on camera, when I looked at Devin Burns, how he was looking around that courtroom, I said that nigga get ready to show his ass. Before he even got up there to the judge, I saw how he was looking around with them big old eyes. I said he get ready to show some ass. And he got right up there and did what I thought. He was scanning that courtroom out. um Monica J listening to too much Hot Boys. Feds don't want them to start scattering, so they wait. Absolutely. Um, let's see. Devin is a little strange looking. I just saw another page. Black youngster has been indicted, indicated, and some shooters that backdoor dog. Hmm. Wow. Well, I always say now, I'm not on. I am colon. I am. They need to hurry up and get heady. This ninja them brought a beard. Yeah, I do know that they can go get those beards put on their faces now. I don't believe he grew that beard, but he could have. Y'all, please hit the like button. Let's see how many likes we got. We only got 82 likes, y'all. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. Let's get up to 100 likes. We're almost at 100. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Pretty face said he looked like it was drawn on. Come on, y'all. We need a few more. Okay. I'm looking for something to show y'all. Hold on. Hold on. Because as I say, I always like to kind of take y'all back to the beginning.
And every piece of evidence to try to solve this particular case. We can't say for sure that it's associated with anything else at this time.
There have been stuff circulating on social media about this shooting here, this rapper's house, this restaurant. And we understand, was any of that accurate or true?
Well, I haven't vetted all the social media. There have been erroneous posts on social media, and what we're trying to do is monitor the facts and ensure that we provide the facts to the public as well. So what we see on social media may not be accurate.
Have you given a suspect information? I know it happened in the middle of the day.
We are still speaking with witnesses. We do have witnesses that are communicating with the police department right now.
Is there any video footage?
We don't know for sure just yet. We are checking every camera, every piece of footage that could be in the surrounding area to help us further this investigation.
You mentioned increased police presence at areas of concern. Club Privé, Yogati's Club. Is that an area of concern? Is it open? Is there extra security from NPD on that?
Don't know if that particular location is open, but any location that might be affiliated with anyone that has a connection or we think could potentially have a connection, our officers are providing presence. And that is
Y'all heard what she said, right? So that's why I always say go back to the beginning. The lady gave in the very first, that was the very first conference that she ever did. I mean, she gave a lot of information. People kind of go back and forwards with this didn't happen, why that happened. All you got to do is go to the sources that know. You know, she tried to skate around it, but the restaurant was not open. So that just kind of let me know when she said, you know, I don't know if that location is open, but you know, we doing what's necessary or whatever she said. It wasn't open. And she knew that. Okay. I want and what else did she say? She said we are getting information from witnesses. They've had witnesses from day one. As I've always said, everybody was not in agreement with what happened to this young man. You can't just take somebody's life just because you decide that I'm God. That's not how it works. And it was wrong on so many levels. It was wrong on so many levels. Okay? So that was dead wrong. Hold on. Whoever did it. Hold on. If I could find it. Okay, here it is. I have to show that because, as I always say, and I'm not going to show all of it. It's just some key things I be wanting to show y'all.
Shondell Barnett is a person who we believe was providing assistance to Justin since we've been looking for him. He now faces charges of accessory after the fact to first-degree murder. He's being housed at the Clay County, Indiana jail, and he will face, there was a state warrant that the marshals filed on him.
Okay, did y'all hear that? In the beginning, it was accessory. Shondell had accessory after the fact to first-degree murder. His charges have now been upgraded. Why was they upgraded after, okay? That's strange. Okay, but hold on, let me keep going.
And so he will face go through the extradition process of being extradited back here to Shelby County. Now, Justin Johnson, on the other hand, he was transported to the Knox County, Indiana jail. And he was booked on a violation of federal supervised release. He went before a federal magistrate in the Southern District of Indiana this morning at 11:30. He waived his identity hearing and he waived his bond hearing. So in essence, he has agreed to come back to face the federal supervised release charges in the Western District of Tennessee. And he will go before a judge in this building, go before a federal magistrate and have an initial appearance on that charge. I can't give you a timeline for safety purposes, but just know that when he's ready to be transported, the marshals will be bringing him back here to this building to face those charges. I want to thank Chief Davis for the confidence that she has in our office.
At approximately 12:24 p.m., Memphis police officers responded to a shooting at 2370 Airways Boulevard, Makiba's Homemade Cookies. Upon arrival, officers located 36-year-old Adolph Thornton Jr., known as Young Dolph, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Thornton was pronounced deceased on the scene by Memphis Fire Department personnel. After an exhaustive investigation by MPD staff, investigators, and supervisors, many who are in this room right now, 23-year-old Justin Johnson and 32-year-old Cornelius Smith were apprehended. Justin Johnson, who is a wanted person of interest in the murder of young Adolph Thornton, is now in custody, thanks to the Marshal Service and their dogged, relentless, and unwavering commitment to getting this individual off the street. Cornelius Smith is now in custody as well, pending the following charges: first-degree murder, criminal attempt to first-degree murder, convicted felon in possession of a handgun, employing a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony, and theft of property in the amount of $10,000 to $60,000. These arrests would not have been possible without the dedicated men and women of the Memphis Police Department and our partners, specifically our homicide unit. Last year, these investigators handled more than 300 homicide cases. They work day in and day out trying to identify individuals with the same type of aggression and unwavering, intrepid spirit that was involved in this particular case. And without the assistance of our partners, and this is a short list of individuals or groups that we need to identify. Of course, the United States Marshals, Marshal Tyrese Miller and his team, the Two Rivers Violent Fugitive Task Force, the Multi-Agency Gang Unit, MGU, Shelby County Sheriff's Department, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, the Covington Police Department, the South Haven Police Department, the DeSoto County Sheriff's Department, the Indiana State Police, and the Putnam County Sheriff's Department. The Memphis Police Department would also like to thank all the men and women who were involved in this investigation for their dedication and hard work. We also would like to thank the hundreds of citizens, not just from our area, but from around the country, who provided tips throughout this investigation to ensure these individuals were brought to justice.
Okay, I wanted y'all to I always go back to the beginning because I want y'all to see that these people have people that have been working with them from the very beginning, okay? That knew exactly what had happened, because if they knew exactly what had happened, because as she said, they led us to these individuals, okay? So that's why I always say, Memphis Police Department has a really, really good group of investigators. A lot of the old heads a lot of them have retired. A lot of them have been promoted. But the good thing about it is you got people like Tony Mullins. I had worked with Tony Mullins. Tony has always been a very laid back, down to earth, cool guy. He eat, sleep, and breathe homicides. And now he is the homicides lieutenant. So even with the new investigators there, they got all of that experience that's over them now. Not only that, but I told y'all how close attention I was told the chiefs are paying to this case. Okay, and the mere fact that the FBI is involved, I don't really care how much money a person got or don't got. Their money can't outlive the federal government. So I think that Chief Davis is extremely smart with implementing that, as far as partnering with the federal entities and the FBI and TBI and all of that, because you have a lot of like police directors and chiefs that don't want to do that because you have a lot of egos and things of that nature. They'll call the FBI come in if it goes federal or something like that. But for her to partner with them, I think is a beautiful thing, especially as it relates to Young Dolph's case, and seeing that so many other agencies, federal agencies, have now gotten involved. It kind of tells you it within itself what is really going on. You don't really have to do a lot of guessing. I think people are just kind of impatient, and they want like a microwave investigation. With any microwave investigation, the bad guys have a 60% chance of walking. Okay? They have a 60% chance of walking. Okay? The government make money, etc. Teasy dropping a book too called Agent Teasy Tells It All. I want to show y'all one more thing. Hold on. And y'all, this was the day that Young Dolph was assassinated. This was the day that he was assassinated. I wonder why I don't see it on here. Hold on.
The closest to the building where this happened, and they're still trying to see what's going on. You can see now tow trucks are being brought in, Now, we do know that we assume, we have heard that there are still some vehicles up there that may have been involved in this. I don't know, young Dolph's vehicle, it may still be up there, but we do have some tow trucks. We've seen 2 that have come through, and this one going through now, maybe actually getting ready to remove some of the vehicles that may have been involved in this. We have not gotten close enough to actually see any of those vehicles. And I know Jarita talked about what type of vehicles that young Dolph had, and how he had bulletproof vehicles and that kind of thing, and not being sure what he was in at that time. But all of this obviously, apparently, happened inside the store when he was outside of the vehicle, possibly. This is what we're hearing, that talk that's going around now. But they're moving in with the tow trucks to move some of the vehicles out. Police now going in beyond the barricade, but it really has quieted down here a lot with the citizens that are just standing around, but still some, but not as many as it was before when this initially happened.
All right, thank you, April. April, I have a question for you. Does it appear that any active search is going on in that area? I know you said police haven't been telling you much, but does it look like they're searching for anyone?
We can't tell whether they're searching for anyone or not, but we know they're talking to a lot of people. Now, we have seen a lot of police officers in uniform talking to people. And as you know, Stephanie and Alex, there are probably tons of undercover plainclothes police officers that are out here now and getting out in the community, talking to people who knew him, talking to people that may have known any kind of beefs that may have existed between him and anybody else. So I'm sure they're out doing that. And that individual that I talked to and said they were meeting with the higher ups, they're probably saying the same thing, that they're out trying to talk to people because, as we said, somebody knows what happened. Somebody knows that this was going to happen, and somebody knows where the people who did this are right now. So what they're trying to do is to get out in the streets and talk to people and get people to open up. A lot of times when things happen, and we know it in our community, when crime happens, people don't want to say anything. They want to be quiet. They don't want to get involved. And they're hoping, because of who young Dolph was, that might prompt some people to finally say something, saying enough is enough. I know something. I'm going to, say what I know. And that's what it's going to take to help police to kind of solve this too. That's why they say the community involvement is so important, because the people are the eyes on the streets, and they know anything that's going on, and they know when it's happened, and they know what happens afterwards. And that's what they're going to kind of depend on as well to be able to get this solved, Stephanie.
All right. Thank you, April. We're going to let you go back and gather some more information, and we'll check back with you a little later.
And the car. Get the car. The car. Obviously, that car and what's inside of that medical examiner's van is
Okay, y'all, I get emotional when I see that car in that medical examiner's van. The idea that he went in there one way and then he left another way. And I get emotional because I'm very passionate about our community and the idea that other Memphians could, plot and scheme and plan to take him out. And all the boy did was just go into the cookie shop. Rap was originated from beefs, and to see him leaving in an undertaker's van, and then to see his car, up on a tow truck leaving like that. And then these niggas got the nerve to get up on their Instagrams and and like robots talking about I'm smoking on a Dolph pack. I can't or I killed him so fast, shoot, you know, whatever that noise, like swiftly, like he doing something, and then got the nerve to be sad about the feds coming to get them. And I can't understand how we as people, if we're supposed to be humans, how can we consistently allow our children to support stuff like that? How could we? It bothers me so bad.
It's a medical.
I wanted y'all to see that van because that was the van that they had put his body in. That's actually what I was trying to get to. Let me go back. If I could get it.
Medical.
Okay, that's the van right there that carried his body away. He's in that, his body is in that van. And then these niggas got the nerve to get their asses on their Instagram and talking about we the last one standing. You supposed to be a boss. You pathetic. You a disgrace to Memphis. We shame of you. Those other cars, some of them was undercover police cars, like that blue Charger.
And the car. And the car. Get the car. The car.
They got the nerve to send up and talk about I'm protected like the president. Now, nigga, that's the president. That was the president right there that y'all took out. Because y'all see how those police officers were surrounding his cars and stuff to make sure that his body and his car was protected. Bitch, that's the president. Not you. Y'all are destroyers. And the feds can't get them fast enough. And I don't give a damn what vlogger y'all send at me. I'm just going to report their asses to the feds. All gloves are off now. I'm not playing with y'all. If y'all willing to go down for that label that is destroying, bring it. Bring it. This stuff got to stop. It is disgusting. It ain't good enough to take young Dolph out. Now they want to mess with his artists. Now they sending out these little dudes that's already messed up in the head. Niggas, they don't care nothing about y'all. If they cared anything about y'all, they wouldn't pay y'all to go do hits. They ain't gonna go pay that. I can't understand the logic of somebody sending their own damn blood brother on the hit anyways. People don't do stuff like that. Okay? People don't send people out that to do something that is going to destroy them if they care about them. They don't do stuff like that. So are there going to be recalls? I believe it is. And they can't come fast enough because we got to get these terrorists out of our community. And some of these little young dudes just like being used because they want to be accepted. They don't know these folks don't care nothing about them. They do it so they don't get their hands dirty. They got to be out to live their lives and take care of their children and flouse and flodge and act like they got this, and that. They send you because your life ain't nothing to them. They know you ain't going to get away with it. So what? They give you $100 grand. You going to spend that on lawyers. And you still going to be in jail. So what, you get a lifetime of free of noodles? After the lawyer hit you for about 80 or 90? So they basically giving you lawyers' fees for something you ain't gonna be out anyways. as a Black woman, it makes me sick to my stomach that other Black men are being taken out of here because they dare to be great. That's all he did was be great. I'm not saying he was an innocent person. They all talk crap on wax or whatever they call it. So what? If you can't stand to be talked about in the music industry, then you don't need to be a rapper. Who do you supposed to be where somebody can't say your name? I go crazy when somebody say my name. I'm going to take you out. The feds got to take Black youngster down quick. Gotta need to put a muzzle on him. Who do he think he is where he can incite fear within our community? He destroying our community. And because somebody got a battery in his back, they making him think it's okay. They want him to crash out. I think they want him to crash out faster than what he gonna crash out. That's what they want. Because he is a ticking time bomb, he a threat on the street to them. So they want the feds to hurry up and get them themselves because they done send him out to do all their dirty work. So they constantly pushing him and putting batteries in his back and making him think it's love. Now they want you gone. You a threat now. My threat, I got y'all to take out my threat. Hey, now I'm shining. They sending people in here to spam my chat. Okay. Y'all get these spammers out of here. Okay. Don't come in here spamming. We're gonna block you. Okay. But it's a darn shame before God. I get emotional every time I see it. How could they do it? And then I started looking at straight drop. I got to show y'all this y'all. I got to show y'all this. This is what happens, okay? This is what happens when you have OGs that send our young men out. It's just like a bad kid. If they feel like they got one parent, especially the father that's backing them, they give them the confidence to go and do their wrong, okay? But I want y'all to see this. This is the first time that Straight Drop ever went to court. I want y'all to see this. Look at his demeanor and his arrogance. He thought he was going to have him a lawyer. They had sent him out.
Mr. Johnson, if you're on a Class B felony, violation of the Sex Offender Registry Act, your bond on that case is $5,000. You're a missing handgun permit, yes or no? You need a lawyer to represent you. Have you hired a lawyer? How long do you need to hire for? Yes, sir.
See, he thought he would have somebody at that point. His disposition was a little different. Even though his breathing was a little labored, I was looking at his chest. He was still a little scared. But let me show y'all this. I want to show y'all this. And I got a point that I'm making, the reason why I'm showing y'all something. I'm going somewhere.
Been accused of killing Memphis rapper Young Dolph was back in court this morning. Justin Johnson faced the judge to request the transfer to a different jail facility. This all comes as we also learned that a Tipton County grand jury indicted a man in another murder who has connection to the car that was used in Young Dolph's murder. Fox 13's Jeremy Pierre breaks down this connection.
Justin Johnson, also known as Straight Drop, went to court Tuesday to try to move to another jail facility in Shelby County. But when he found out what life would be like if he moved, he told the judge he didn't want to move. His attorney.
Look at his face right there. Y'all, they back in here spamming the chat. Are y'all blocking the spams in the chat? Because they back in here. On my end, I can't see if they block. Okay. So, yeah, because in my screen, I can't see if they've been blocked or not. All I can see is they in the chat. Okay. So y'all see how tensed up his face is. Y'all see how tensed up he is. Now, this was recently. What they doing is they ruining our community by sending out young men like Straight Drop. Because if you got the means to help somebody, why don't you help them? Okay. This child and got himself into something. I'm not saying he was innocent. I'm sure he'd been out there doing stuff. I'm sure, because he said he was a paid, he had on his Instagram at one time, he was a paid hitman. But this is what these OGs are doing. They're using their money to destroy the Black community. That's exactly what they're doing. He's so tensed up and stuff now, it don't make no sense. His eyebrows has not relaxed since that first time. And looking at the first time that he was in court, looking at his breathing, his breathing was kind of labored. Folks can say what they want to. He a G nigga. That's what y'all want him to be. That's a young man who knows that he will not see the light of day again, and did y'all dirty work, and y'all helped to ruin his life. Y'all helped to do that. Y'all took the money that the Black community did and trying to support y'all to help y'all to get rich, to help to finish destroying out the Black community, because people like Straight Dropping them, believe it or not, they really are supposed to be the future. We look to them to carry on the legacies of the Black community. Y'all help to destroy that. Y'all help to destroy that. So as Black women, we don't want y'all out. Y'all taking out Black men that can help to put food on the table like Dolph. We don't want y'all out. We don't give a damn about y'all having kids. Y'all taking folks from their kids. And they feel like they supposed to be able to build empires and legacies off the blood of other people. I was saying last week, they sit up and destroy the Black community and then get on stage and stand on their soapbox and say, I just want to thank God for my award and everything God gave me. This was how, nigga, you done destroyed a whole generation and family. And you thanking God for that? They sick. They devilish. The FBI be in this chat. Hurry up and get whoever it is that's involved. We want our community back. We want our community back. We want Black men who dare to be great in the rap industry, to be able to be independent and be great without them sending out these little hoods that ain't got no guidance to go take them out. Hurry up and get them out of our community. Hurry up and get these Ricos going and get these indictments to coming down. We want them gone. We want them gone. Okay? All these folks that thought that they was getting ready to corner the weed market because they felt like Dolph was cornering the market, we want them arrested. Arrest everybody they got working for them and hit them up, take their weed. If it's any police officers that's out there, these damn women, because I've had people to send me emails that's telling them when the police gonna be out, get their asses, they going to federal prison. Helper, you sit up and be a police officer and got the nerve to get to notify them when the police is doing things. Bitch, you is going to federal prison being a police officer. Okay, excuse my French. You going to jail. You gonna go to federal prison because they took an oath. They get more time. They get more time than anybody. You is going to jail. Okay? Hurry up and get them gone. We want them out of our community. They are destroying the Black community. It's a damn shame that there are artists that are talented and hungry. We got artists like Paul now. We got artists like Juicy and all of them. We've had a lot of great artists and stuff to come up out of Memphis. A whole lot of them. Okay? We've had a whole lot of great artists to come out of Memphis. They did some good music. Let's start supporting them again. Let's start supporting them again. At least maybe all of this violence. I don't think they was taking people out because they dared to be great. We got people like Gangsta Pat, all of them. They helped to build a foundation on this stuff. Gangsta Pat was in my chat the other day. Let's build them up and support them. At least we ain't see blood shed everywhere. They taking folks out because they dare to be great. That's my competition. I want to be the plug. We want you out of our community. We got to stop supporting people like that. Don't let y'all kids stream another song, especially if they're going to sit up and think that they can bully the Black community. Yeah, I'll put a hit on you. And if you say my name, I'm gonna take the money that y'all helped me to attain and kill you. Why we want them in our community? We got to start holding people to the fire, okay? And I still got let me take straight drop pictures down, okay? But I wanted y'all to see how scared straight drop really is. He's still a child. I got a child his age, y'all. I cannot sit up and I'm mad at what they did to young Dolph, but at the same time, I got a heart. He was misled. From the charges he already, you got to be troubled to want to be a hitman anyway. You got to be mentally ill. That's a mental illness. But I blame these OGs because Straight Drop is not a bad looking child. He wasn't no bad rapper. The girls would have liked him. My daughter almost tickled me to death. She said, "Mama, now don't get mad at me." And her and Straight Drop was born in the same doggone year. She said, "Now, before all this young Dolph stuff happened, if I had met Straight Drop out there in Memphis, Mama, I would have talked to him." I said, "What?" She said, "Mama, he nice looking." He was, so they could have marketed him to the young ladies his age. Instead, you help to destroy a young man's life that is already troubled. Okay? If you got the means and stuff to help a child, why don't you help them? These OGs dirty, a lot of them, and I don't give a care about them going to jail. I don't care anything about them going to jail. And that's that they just didn't want to see a Black man growing empire. Nigga, you set up and took a whole life away from here. That empire was built on sand. And God ain't in the business of blessing nobody. Let me tell you something. God getting these folks back as soon as they do stuff. It ain't taking no 20 and 30 years like it used to. Okay? It ain't taking no 20 and 30 years. He getting them back instantly because people learning how to tap into the spiritual realm and pray. And I ain't talking about no evil stuff. I ain't praying on nobody that I'm jealous of. I'm putting these niggas' names in the atmosphere that's around here doing evil and thinking they can stop the bag or stop the prosperity of somebody else, all because of their jealousy instead of paying attention to what they got going on. Those are the ones. People learning how to tap into the spiritual and getting the prayer warriors to come into agreement with them and God getting them back instantly. Okay? So, you know, the thing I can say about these recalls, I do believe, and I have to say it's a belief. Do indictments, more indictments, that ain't no belief, that's a fact. But a recall, that's a belief. Okay? So we praying though. And I feel like these recalls are going to help to clean the streets up because it is the people that are in these poor hoods that are left to suffer. I don't care what a parent is into. When their kids are sitting up on TV because they've killed a famous rapper or their kids have to go away for the rest of their life, that breaks a mother's heart. Okay? Even though she can go see a child. It don't make a mother who had nothing to do with that feel good that her child got to be in jail for the rest of her life, all because a bunch of Negroes have sold them a pipe dream. So what these little dudes need to understand is when they taking their butts to jail, they talking about I do it for the, what they say, I do it for the gang or whatever they call it. What they call I do it for the, they do it for something. Okay? They need to think about their own life and they need to think about their mama's life because in the end, that's going to be the only person that really care about them is their mama and their kids if they old enough. Because if they got babies, their mama's going to go on and get them another man and they probably ain't going to know them. So they ain't going to hardly give much of a damn about them anyways. And when they get older, they're going to be angry at them because they're going to say, how could my daddy choose to go and do this for another man or a gang and leave my mama out here to struggle to take care of me? I ain't going to see that nigga. And you can't blame them. Whoever they did the hits for, they either dead or enjoying life. They done forgot about them. They just grease their palm long enough to know that they're not going to implicate them in whatever they had sent them out to go do. That's it. But a lot of these dudes want to be put on so bad that they will do just about anything to try to prove their loyalty. And that's the type of food that they want. Some people have such a confidence about themselves that they already know who not to tell. They already know not to approach that person about doing a hit. They know that. No, we can't. We know we can't ask them that. But somebody else, man, you won't. You know, look at how Soulja Boy gives it away. Look at how he was in a high out of his mind that day. Okay, he got on his live and Soulja Boy almost comical. He was mad at somebody. He pulled that money out. He tells the play. He gives the play away. He said, who want a deal? Who want a deal? I got the money right here. You got to be ready to put in the work. Who want a deal? Okay. Who want a deal? Okay. Hey, Tyranny. So he pretty much gives the play away. And that is what is happening. And that's why I say it has to start from inside of the home, because what these parents are going to have to start doing is validating their children so that they can't be bought off by money. I ain't never in my life thought I would. Y'all, they back in here again with this. Let me see something. Okay. Because I got to, let me go over here because these folks crazy as hell. They steady sending, that's how you know these folks sick. They ain't got nothing better to do than to try to spam my chat. Hold on, wait a minute, because see, Okay, I can see they got it. Okay. They ain't got nothing better to do than try to spam my chat. Why don't y'all get out of my chat and go sniff another line and leave me alone? Go sniff another line. But see, I ain't fool. I already know they pay them about $10 to come and harass. They pay them $10 per blogger that they harass. I guess they're trying to get some money to go get another line, but you won't get it in this chat. You won't be able to get your meth and your crack off of me because we're going to block you. Okay? But as I was saying, rest in peace, Young Dolph says that's what he wanted in the first place. Dolph just so happened to be first. I be missing what y'all be talking about in the chats, y'all. Lord knows I do. So don't y'all get upset because I be missing it. I just happen to see that. So it has to start from inside of the home so that that's right. It has to start from inside the home so that when these OGs can't have your kids, they can love themselves. And these OGs can't be tricking our children into going and doing hits. Okay? Into going and doing hits. Y'all, and that's exactly what they are doing. That's exactly what they're doing. Hold on. I think I want to, if I could find it again, I want to show y'all something. Hold on. I don't know if I can find it. Because I be seeing stuff and then. Okay. I'm going to show it to y'all in a few minutes at the end. Okay. But y'all, hey, I want to drop the link. Does anybody want to come up before I drop the link? I'll drop the link if anybody wants to come up and say something. If y'all don't want to come up and say something, I'm not going to drop the link. Because I see these hackers don't believe fat meat greasy. Choices, decisions, consequences. Absolutely, Miss Clarinetta. But do I believe a Rico, his case is going to be turned to a Rico case? Of course. Of course it is. I believe it. I believe it. Monica says they tricked them into believing they would have right. They tricked them into believing they'll have a certain lifestyle. And it's a darn shame. That's why I say it has to start at home, Monica, because we have to start back teaching our kids that they could go to school and be anything that they want to be. And stop putting our children in positions where these parents are all on drugs. They got codependent personalities, and the kids are out in the street. The oldest child is out in the street trying to sell drugs so that they can put food on the table for their brothers and sisters, because they mom and daddy, if the daddy around, more than likely he ain't, is in some kind of cracked out or drunken stupor. Okay, so then they have to end up dropping out of school instead of telling our children and helping to nurture them and cultivate them into being the best that they can be, because it's more ways to get rich than to be a darn rapper. Okay, rapping ain't worth it anyways. Huh? Wait a minute. Let me block you. I don't know who that Jasper was, but just block them when they come in here, because they get mad when we talk about the Young Dolph's case. Okay. So what we have to do is start cultivating our children. Okay. We have to cultivate our children and let them know that there's more to life than just being a rapper. It seems like being a rapper if they signing a death certificate, especially if they find out the recipe. If they find out the recipe, okay? So why not? It's more that they can get rich. They don't necessarily have to be a athlete. Why don't we start teaching them about they could be doctors, lawyers, but it's a lot of people that's just good with their hands. We messed up when we allowed them to take trade school or technical or a shop out of the schools. Okay? Where some people can just go to a trade school and help to advance whatever expertise that they got or whatever skill that they got, as far as carpentry, as far as painting. They can go and do that and start a business and become a millionaire. Auto mechanic shops and things of that nature. It ain't meant for everybody to go to college. So if you don't want to go to college, well, son, you good with fixing cars. Why don't you go ahead and go to a trade school and then go work at an auto mechanic shop and then turn around and open up an auto mechanic shop? Become a millionaire. Learn business. Go to some kind of, go take business. Learn about business. Go and let somebody who mean you some good mentor you. But we are not teaching our children that. We ain't doing it. Okay? So it's a darn shame before God what is happening within our communities. This stuff has got to stop. And Black parents gotta give up this codependency. This codependency. Everybody is codependent on something. Be codependent on God. I mean, it ain't no big deal when I say I've never smoked weed. I've never done drugs. I never wanted to. I was telling y'all about how my grandmama scared me into it. Okay. I never had brown liquor until I got COVID and I had to do a hot toddy. I drink some wine, but I'm not codependent on no wine. I don't have things in high places. I don't put nothing, not even money, in a high place. Nothing other than God. If I become codependent on it, I don't want it. Because now when you putting that in a high place, you allowing that to make decisions for you. That's how you have women selling their bodies when they get on drugs, and men doing like demeaning things when they get on drugs, because that cocaine and that crack is in a high place, and it does the thinking for them. It does the speaking. I'll do anything for it. Okay? So as Black people, for some reason, we got codependent personalities, y'all. Our people have always been advanced. I think I talk about how, I'm so passionate as it relates, and I'm so hurt about what they did to young Dolph, because I was always taught that, and I'm not, taking anything from another race, but there was nothing better than a Black man. They worked hard. They took care of their families. They protect their women. They protect their children. So it's devastating to me when I see all of this, how a lot of Black men now are just being destructive, and how they sit up and feel like they could just violate and assault Black women without a thought. What kind of justice do these Black men, even at a young age, think that they're doing for their children and their family when they going out talking about I'm a hit man, and they gone for the rest of their life and their kids don't even know them, and they leaving their baby mamas out there with nothing? Okay. When I think about, I was talking about, math and algebra. I was never really good with algebra. I was good with timetables. It's weird. I told y'all how I always thought it was weird that I was always good with timetables. And I mean, like, addition and subtraction. I mean, sometimes I have to think and count on my fingers. I go, okay, because I forget. But with my timetables, it comes right off the top of my head. It has been like that since elementary school. And I used to always wonder why, because my dad and mama had to always get me tutoring. I had to, when I was in college, when it came to that pre-cal and all of that, I had to always get tutoring and stuff. And I used to wonder, well, dog, how these black boys who always horse playing and they don't listen, they cut in class, they don't, they horse play in class, they don't be in class, but when it comes to doing a test on that algebra, they making hundreds and stuff. They getting it just like that. I was like, dog, why? Why is it? And so it wasn't until I was an adult that I learned that math was originated in Africa. Now, watch, somebody gonna be able to tell a cuckabug head math was not created in Africa. She not know what she talking about, and some cuckabug head gonna come in my chat. We niggas math wasn't created in Africa because they had told me it wasn't. They never want us to know our history. And so then it dawned on me, dog, all the black boys, even though they weren't that good in English, okay, or really nothing else, they did pretty good in social study, history. But they aced math because it was in their DNA. It's in our DNA. They have erased so much of our history, we don't even know who we are anymore. And because of what has been instilled in us as far as from slavery, it's like a generational curse. Okay? It's like a generational curse. We hate each other. And what's so scary now is everybody, you got so many people jealous of each other. I never thought I would live to see the day that I would see men competing with women and being jealous of women. It ain't no competition as far as physically when it comes to a man and a woman. What is going on? Men don't compete with women. Men have their own things going on. They might compete with another man, that testosterone, but you competing with women? That just didn't happen. A lot of men, not to say women are not beneath men, but a lot of men just thought, nah, I can't do nothing like that. Compete with a woman? Okay. Competing with a woman. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, G Baby, for the cash app. No, I don't compete with no woman because men had their own things going on. Nah, I can't, let the women do their thing. I got men in my family like that right now, man. Let the women do their thing. They in there talking about something we don't know. And we gonna go outside. We do our thing. We get the hollering and screaming. They sit right there, look at the TV. All right, y'all, let's go. They talking crazy. We ain't got time for that. Hardcore thugs, hard to the core. They ain't finna hit you. They ain't get ready to, because they feel like I go stay out 2 nights. She talking crazy. I stay gone 2 nights. That's gonna hurt her worse. It ain't right. But they ain't get ready to be arguing and screaming. That woman, what you hollering and screaming about? You is crazy. I'm gone. But too many men now bitchified. If you thought about intimidating a woman, you couldn't hang around my group of cousins. They didn't do stuff like that to them. That made their group look wimpy. We don't intimidate women. Hell, cause to them we macho. That don't compare to us. We protect the women. We supposed to be. It made them feel good to think we protecting them. We Superman. We don't. That's not on our level. We don't argue with women. And so much has changed that I'm trying to figure out how we think these young adults are supposed to act. What do they have to look up to? What are they having to look up to? Not much. If they see these adults acting a fool, what do they have to mimic? Okay? They don't have anything to mimic. And so even though Straight Drop and the rest of these little dudes that was involved in this young dog's case, the rest of them that was out there, because hell, it was some more out there, they're going to have to go and do their bid. But the people who did this, God going to get them back, because that's the root of the tree. Because although they got their own minds and they know right from wrong, you have to reap what you sow. Okay? And when you're helping to destroy a community because people are in a position where they feel like they don't know all this stuff that they see on TV, all these gold chains and stuff, these diamonds and stuff ain't real. You dangle this stuff in front of them, they already ain't got nothing. And you make them promise, if you go and destroy a whole family, I'm gonna give you this. Whereas if you got it to give, if you could give somebody some money to go and destroy a whole life and take out flesh and blood, that means you just got money to just throw away anyways. Why don't you give it to them? You see they hurting. And that's what a lot of these young dudes don't understand. They see you hurting and they ain't studying about trying to help you. They could put you on right now if you got a talent, but they ain't trying to do that. But they'll give you money to go ruin your life. And so that's why I don't get none of these OGs no slack, period. Because they are really the ones that's destroying this community. Because these young dudes will follow them and do whatever they say do. Hell, after you go and kill somebody, you can't say, well, we gonna be revolutionary now. You know, you're gonna have to ask God for some grace, because y'all got to pay for what y'all did to young Dolph. Y'all did it. And y'all didn't have to do it. Y'all did not have to kill that boy. You did not have to do it. And I don't care what excuse they give. They didn't have to do it. Okay? So I think that it is a shame before God what is going on, y'all, within our community. This stuff has got to stop. This stuff has got to stop. The men are supposed to be rising up and leading the women and the children. And they had the nerve to sit up and say, well, these women's this be trying to act like men's. Well, what choice they got? Hell, if you don't want to be with her, why stop putting babies in her? You know, it's such a double standard. They put all of the blame on the woman where she opened her legs. That's how it was back in slavery days. The women asked to be raped because they had big butts and stuff. The little girls had to be acting fast. That she was acting fast. That's why he sexually assaulted her. I didn't think that the man was just sick, because anybody that wants a child is a sick individual. Hell, if the women wasn't putting food on the table and getting out and working, she won't take care of her kids. Hell, she working 2-3 jobs to put food on the table. That's why she ain't never at home. The man ain't doing nothing, and we don't put that on them. We don't. It's such a double standard. She a bad mama. Hell, your kids wouldn't be eating if she wasn't out working 2 and 3 jobs. Okay? She a slut. She got 3 kids by 3 different women. You got 15 by 15 different women. Y'all, they back in here. Okay? So it's a shame before God how women are annihilated. And then, you know, women got to be smarter. You see he ain't right. Don't go have all these babies by, because you the one that's got to suffer, because he ain't gonna be around. You taking care of these kids. Ain't nowhere in the world that I would be constantly getting kids by the same no good Negro. Hell, I have respect for women when they say I got 3 kids or 2 kids. And they got different daddies. It don't make her a slut. It just mean I knew this first Negro wasn't nothing. I did try again with somebody else. Hell, he just turned out to be nothing either. But some of these folks stay with these men to get 5 or 6 kids. All my children is match. Well, what you asking me for bread money for? Hell, he wasn't helping you to take care of the first one. That's the craziest thing I ever seen. You going and getting 5 and 6 kids with the same man just so you can say all my kids got the same daddy, and then talk about somebody else that's got 2 kids with 2 different men because they saw that number 1 wasn't nothing. Hell, they thought number 2 would be better. He wasn't nothing either. Okay. But our men got to rise back up. They're going to have to get off the crack. I mean, that's just it. Get off these drugs. Stop having these codependent personalities. These women need y'all. Yeah, women, you know, go be all you can be. You ain't got to be at no strip club. See, they've marketed that to the women, especially Black women. Okay, you don't even see, and there are a lot of strip clubs that that are mainly white, but they don't sensationalize that. They call them gentlemen's club. But they make these Black girls feel like, but see, they on pills and stuff too, Lord. They make them feel like, that you ain't doing nothing wrong, and I can't tell nobody what to do. But I don't see anything noble about a woman shaking and showing her most precious gift to a bunch of strangers. I don't see anything noble about that, y'all. We got to start back. That's not it's not okay. Girl, at least she getting her money, she feeding her kids. Okay. But that don't make it okay. Okay? So it's going to have to start from within, and then you got people doing anything for money. We got to stop making our kids think that it's okay to do anything for money. They love money so much. Whatever happened to loving people? See, that's the reason why they can take people out for some money, because they love money and not people. We got to get back to loving people. We got to get back to loving flesh and blood. Okay? And really exerting true love and love and respect for people. And that's the problem. People don't respect each other. We see that on YouTube. There is no respect. How these kids are going to exert respect or learn that they are supposed to respect other humans if they see these old niggas feeling like they ain't got to respect nobody? I want it. I'm going to disrespect you because I want it. That's not how it works. So it goes back to, that's why I give these OGs a hard time, because these kids are looking up to them. These young adults are looking up to them. If they try to lead these kids right, especially if they got some influence, they're going to follow. Okay? Okay? So, yeah, I'm trying to see how many likes we got. Yeah, the trolls are in full effect today. We're going to pray for them. We're going to put a prayer on them, though. I got some praying warriors in here, too. So whoever these trolls is, they better be scared, because we got some praying warriors that's in here. I said from now on, when I get on, I have at least two women that be in the background praying and going into the spiritual to deal with these devils. And I'm gonna tell you something. When God gets you, that you got. That's it. That's all. That's how we fighting y'all in the spiritual realm. Because I understand it's not flesh and blood. It's a spirit that these folks dealing with. It's a sickness. It's a mental illness. So we going up in the spiritual, and whatever God decides to do to them, that's between them and God, because he said, vengeance is mine. Okay. Now I'm going to read some of y'all comments. All they promote is twerking and drill music. Absolutely, in the Black community. Yes, they big mad. Yeah, they mad today, but we rebuke them in the name of Jesus. A1 since day one says, Miss Tamara, at the end of the day, CMG, Big Three, Gotti, Black Youngster, Moneybag have a consistent pattern of trying to take Dolph out, but this time they hired two conspirators, and it's truly a mafia and the cookie shop. Okay. Florida Two Pistols says these trolls are a part of the problem. Absolutely. Monica says people think it's cute for their daughters to know that what a hot girl summer is, but don't know the assets and liabilities of it. I absolutely agree. Men drive by shooting kids and women. They gotta go. Absolutely. That's how the real OG, the real original OGs feel. Trolling won't stop from getting justice. So here's the thing: we just on here talking. I've always said from day one, we ain't on here, trying to solve the case, because he got the Memphis Police Department, as well as they partner with the federal entities. It ain't nothing. We ain't got the type of intelligence that they got to solve the case. They got everything. They know everything. They got all the evidence. They don't need us. We on here commentating. I'm talking about as far as getting out, solving the case. Okay. The only thing that we could do is try to interrupt what they doing, and that's a crime. Y'all please hit the like button. I want to love a woman and hurt her. If it's going on, I know it's sick. Day one says there would be a bunch of fall guys before the big guys up the ladder go down, just like the Young Thug case. They took 10 years and boom. He will make your enemies your footstool. Absolutely. He always make your enemies your footstool. He says, when I get them back for what they did to you, you're going to see me get them back. And then he going to prepare a table for you in their presence. Okay? That's right, Larisha. Rest in peace, the paper route, Frank. We definitely want justice for Dolph. I got extremely emotional. Every time I see him leaving in that van, okay? And every time I see his car, and I think, when I look at his car, because we all work so hard to achieve success, okay? We all work so hard to achieve success. Hold on, y'all. Let me talk to my client for a minute. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. And so we definitely just want justice for young Dolph. And what I always say is I don't try and connect dots, because I know that the professionals that's working this case have already connected the dots. I don't need to do their job for them. These people got the evidence. They talking to the witnesses. They got the intel. They talking to whoever it is that's turning state's evidence. They know what has happened. The only thing I've ever said was we pray for speedy justice. And we don't want it to be microwave. And I pray for the people that's working on this case. I pray for the law enforcement officers, strictly because I want for God to quicken them, to quicken their minds, to help them to think right, to bring the right, to continuously bring people with good evidence to them. And they can work with the prosecutors and the DA to tie up this case as it relates to everybody, every single person that was involved in this. Nobody should get away, because like I say, young Dolph's case that's what I was getting ready to say. It represents something so much bigger. I think that's why I get emotional. It's because I think that we all work hard to achieve a certain status in life. We all want to be successful. Young Dolph, you look at that car, and that was probably what, 100 or 200 something $1,000 car or more. This young man got it out the dirt, had worked extremely hard, and he was taken away from us or from his family strictly because he worked hard to achieve that success. Okay. And he wanted everybody to see his success. Hell, that's motivation. And all of that, because he worked hard to achieve cars and stuff like that, they reduced him to leaving in a van dead. And they think that they're going to get away with it. And they think that it's funny. But I'm going to tell y'all niggas something, because I know they be on here. God is the biggest hitter. I ain't got to try to get y'all put in jail. Sit down. They hire these vloggers and stuff, and then they be on here. But I don't even think they be saying that. This be other folks who don't want me to talk about this. Okay? That's jealous of me talking about this. But God is the biggest hitter. Okay? God is the biggest hitter. Long live Dolph. His name will forever ring bells. Paper Route, The Mob, and Dolph We Trust. Okay? Y'all, how many likes do we have? Y'all hit the like button. I want to show y'all something before we get out of here. Salute to you too, Bobo. If y'all haven't hit the like button, y'all, please hit the like button. Tambora, I don't know if I believe it was so much of upper echelon because of how tacky it was, but then that could have been a strategy too. They, I think it's a bunch of people who think they more than what they are, and they gonna know they ain't when they walk them when they come and get them with handcuff them. Also, Miss Tamara, from listening to Paper Route Q show, which is a Thornton, Dolph's uncle to be exact. His exact words were, "The only way to take my nephew Dolph out, someone in the circle set him up." Don't come in here with the cap, cause I got time today. Well, A1 since day one. If that hasn't been proven, that has not been proven by the authorities. Thank you, Miss Deborah. Yep. I want to show y'all something before we go. Nobody in Dolph's family or circle set him up. Absolutely. Nobody in his family or circle set him up. That's not Dolph uncle. Don't come in here with that cap. Shit, Dolph uncle dead, and his uncle on his daddy's side wouldn't say no BS like that. Hmm. I tell you. I want to show y'all something before we go. Hold on one second, you guys. And I'm going to just show y'all a little bit of it. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all go and I ain't want them to cut my live off. So make sure y'all go and support Paper Route Woo and Snoop Band's new song, Straight Like That. I like the beat of it. I'm gonna put that in rotation when I'm on the treadmill, okay? That's going in rotation. So I'm gonna go stream it so I could from Apple or whatever and make sure it's in my phone so that I can exercise when I start slowing down on the treadmill, okay? OG in here. Shout out to OG. GMC camp go down. Arrested will be coming. OG in the house. OG in the house. OG in the house. Y'all, that's Stop Killing. That's OG. Y'all make sure y'all put those dolphin signs. We always I don't like to do like 2.5 hours. I like to do like 3 hours. I don't like to do half nothing, right? If it's not 1.5 hours, a straight 2 hours, I like to do whole. So y'all put the dolphins in the chat. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all put the dolphins in the chat. Shout out to everybody that was on here. Shout out, rest in peace to Young Dolph. Shout out to all of everybody that is the investigators and the agents that are working on to this case to make sure that there is justice for Dolph, not only Dolph, but anybody else that may have been hurt or whatever, or saw an untimely demise. In any case, may God, may there be justice for them and peace for their family. Yeah, then may there be justice and peace. But I always pray for the people that are investigating the case. I'm talking about the police department and the FBI and everybody else, because they are going to be the ones to get young Dolph and his family the justice and help to bring peace back within our communities. Once you start getting these people out of the communities and getting them locked up, those people who have put themselves in like a God-like position where they don't have any respect, where they are hurting women and hurting children and taking fathers away from their children, that's evil on a whole nother level. These are people that don't have any scruples. And I think a lot of people kind of pride themselves now on, yeah, I hit a woman. Yeah, I kill a baby. I can't understand why dudes, especially real dudes, are allowing them to get away with having this type of mentality. You know why? Because a lot of these OGs now, the people that have morphed into OGs, they pathetic. They encouraging them to do it. They care about nobody but themselves. What good is it to be taking people out for some money you ain't gonna get a chance to spend anyway? What kind of sense that make? I've heard people say, somebody got in my chat a long time ago and was like, what you don't understand, little mama, that's what they said, what you don't understand, little mama, is straight drop family ain't gonna never have to worry about nothing for the rest of his life. I said, so you mean to tell me, nigga, that you saying that straight drop took money to destroy young Dolph's life as well as his very own life, because his daughter will never get to see him on the outside? What in the hell can he do for his daughter on the inside? I'm sure if children had a choice, because children, before they start getting cold, getting out in this cold world, they're innocent, they're full of love, they want to be loved just like animals. So they would prefer to have their parents way more than they would prefer to have money. Children need their parents. I'm not talking about abusive parents either. So what these little dudes need to think about is it would be an insult to me for somebody to say, you know, little dude, you go hit this lick for me, but I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna make sure I lace you up with some money. If you get caught, you know it's on you, but your family ain't gonna never have to worry about nothing. First of all, you can't even trust that. First of all, they talk about with the money they're gonna give you, you're gonna spend all that in lawyers' fees because you ain't gonna get away with it. It would be an insult to me for somebody to ask me to mess my life up for them. How come they don't go do it? Those who truly had the issue with dog, how come they ain't gonna do it? You know why they didn't go do it? Because they feel like their life worth something. I can't go out there and do that. Hell, I go to jail. I got to be able to floss and flodge and fake and act like I'm father of the year, a mother of the year. So they send people who they think who don't mean nothing to them. They ain't gonna send nobody who means something to them. Now I can't send my brother now. He'll get caught up. I can't send my sister. I ain't sending my sister on that. She might go to jail. Something could happen to her. So I'm gonna send you because you ain't nothing. And I'll lure you with the money. And that's what these little dudes don't understand. Okay. Monica. It's a lot of people don't like the police. You know what? There are some no good police officers, but you know, they kind of, I don't let that overshadow the ones that are good, because there are a lot of good ones. But there are some bad ones, and we pray for God to remove them. Okay. I know Tamcat was the name that took you. I know. Let's see. I be doing jumping jacks like a kangaroo when they get arrested. Me too. I'm gonna be happy too. But you know what? I'm gonna just give all praises to God. And you know, every time God comes through for me, all I ever hear in my head, and I know it be the Spirit of God. I think about when God said in Genesis, I am that I am. Okay. That's why I don't ever put nobody. Thank you, Holiday Tracks, for the $4.99 super sticker. I don't ever put nobody before God. Every time I think that I have a hard situation and God brings me out of it, or God does a supernatural thing, I always hear in my mind, I am that I am. And that is God reminding me, I told you I'm all things, whatever you need. I am that I am. I'm a provider. I'm a protector. I'm Lady Justice or man justice, whatever you want to call him. I am all of that. So that's why I don't put people in high places. Okay. And I understand the order of stuff. You have people that have been put in place as far as like the FBI, the Memphis police investigators, they got the experience. And so I pray for God to guide them, because they're going to be the ones to get justice for Dolph. I don't curse them at all. I don't. I pray for God to take the blinders off of them and to always guide them, because we look to them to put whoever was behind this in handcuffs, because we can't go put them in handcuffs. So I'm not going to curse the people that God has put in place to do it. I pray for them to be able to do it. Okay. I don't send curses towards them, because I truly want justice. Because like I said, young Dolph's murder represent a bigger thing. And once all of these people, and while these young dudes hating me for getting on here speaking truth, what they don't understand is my passion comes from, if they ever decide to open their eyes as they get older, or if they got a talent on their life, somebody don't see that talent and see that they got a mind to not be in slavery and say that's going to be a threat. Let's take him out, because we got to keep all Black people enslaved. And it's a darn shame that we can get other Black people to go and do that. That's keeping everybody enslaved. So it is my prayer that these people that are doing that are taken off of the streets, so that they can have a future, so that they can live longer. They can change their mindsets, and God can put people into their lives that can truly help them to change their mind. Because if they 22, 23 years old, the way that they think now, if they live to get older, they're not going to think that way when they're 33, 43 years old. But what's happening now is they're taking them out of here because right now they got the endurance, okay? Because they got the thoughts. They got the endurance. Like Dolph started young. He had the endurance to get out there and build his empire. He started to really reap the benefits probably in his 30s, and they ain't even want to see the man do that. That's why I tell people all the time, you don't know what people go through. As I was saying, I tell people all the time when they sitting up talking about, well, you know, I want to do this. I would love to. How you do this? I go, in order to do what I do, you got to do what I do. And sometimes they don't get that. I go, in order to do what I do, you got to do what I do. Okay? You don't, people ain't wanting to sit out in cars at 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning, waiting on somebody darn husband to come out. Can't go pee, can't go eat, can't go do nothing to wait on somebody's husband to come out of a hotel room. Folks ain't wanting to ride all over the city looking for witnesses, for a prosecutor, or for and witnesses sitting in my office talking to people, trying to get them to say something just so you could take a report. So in order to do what I do, you have to do what I do. In order to do what Dolph did, you got to do what he did. People want to reap the benefits, but they ain't wanting to do no work. They're not wanting to be dedicated. They want everything microwaved. Okay? And so that's why I say it has to start from within. It has to start from within. Okay? She said weed stopped going crazy. And weed ain't no herb no more. It's a chemical. That's the reason why these folks going crazy. Anytime the government makes something legal that they worked hard to make illegal, when Bob Marley, they gave Bob Marley cancer, because I do believe they killed him. I believe it was a herb thing that was truly healing cancer and things of that nature. It was growing from the earth. Anything that's growing from the laboratory ain't no damn herb. It's a chemical. And that's why these folks look like Chucky when they smoke weed now. A lot of them, it stinks. I wouldn't smoke nothing that stinks like that. I don't want nothing around me that stink like this weed stink. It ain't nothing natural about it. It don't smell the same. So the government makes it legal. It's something wrong with that there. And people don't think about stuff like that. All this different weed and stuff, all these different strands. Hell, it wasn't never but one damn strand. Where all these strands come from? But black people don't think about stuff like that. So they can say what they want to say. I don't want no weed. I don't want no drugs. I don't want nothing that's going to alter my thinking. Okay? All I need is God. Okay? People always want to be codependent on something. Go be codependent on God. I promise you can't go wrong with that. I'm telling you, when you go up when you start meditating and you go up into the spiritual realm, okay, and you let God take you up into the spiritual realm and you start meditating, God will start showing you some stuff. Okay? Be codependent on that. Okay? That's true too. The AW bird, that's true too. If you weak enough to let them, it's a program, and you're right. That's why when you look at TV, stop, Remy. That's why when you start looking at TV, AW bird, they call them programs, because it's a programming really of the mind. That's why they call them programs. It's a programming of your mind. I don't really look at the news right now because I worked for the police department so many years. I know how they lie. They'll tell a lie in a minute. I don't really look at them. And if they say something, I have to go do the research myself. I go, okay, well, the news said it. I mean, they might get the name right. Okay, it starts with the name. I'll go do the research to see if it's true. Because a lot of times they'll just flat out, they don't know. These breaking stories, they show enough line, because if it's a breaking homicide, they ain't got the information. They might have the person's name. They might. Not unless you see the police chiefs and them standing up there doing a conference, a news conference. Stop, come here, okay? So that's why I say, we be codependent on, everybody else to see. Often we feed the distraction, which is a false narrative. Well, yeah, that could be true. And there's a lot of distractions. It is a lot of distractions, especially when people don't know. Okay. And it's more people that don't know. So you're right. You're right. But I never feed a distraction or a false narrative. I don't. Because I know when something is a lie. You're not gonna hear me talk about it, not on my channel. I'm not gonna entertain it. Each and everybody can have his or her own thoughts, but I'm not gonna entertain no false narratives on here because I know when they lying. Okay. And sometimes people just don't know, and they could not know. But it's not gonna run up and down this chat. Okay. And I don't stop people from doing whatever it is that they want to do on their channels. YouTube ain't my source, so I don't have to put out false narratives. I don't have to make it grand. I don't really make no money off of YouTube. Okay. It ain't my source. Okay. So I don't make it grand. You're not gonna see me come in here and put on no theatrics. YouTube don't pay not damn bill I got. Okay. The craziest thing I've ever heard is I've heard people say, well, she had tried to protect the police. How in the hell can I protect the police? It ain't no way possible that I could ever. How can I protect the police? Hell, I can't influence the judges and nobody else that the police will go before. They don't come. They don't come before me. Okay. That's true. I agree with you, A.W. Bird. I agree. That's why I tell people to do the research themselves. And the research is mainly A.W. Bird. Just going back to the beginning, if you listen to the people that know, and that would be the Memphis police chief. If you listen to a lot of these people that did these conferences, Paul Hagerman and all of them, you get nuggets from them. Okay. They know. Those are the people that would know. When you start trying to doubt them and say, well, they didn't mean to say that, or trying to manipulate what they said, that's when you've gone awry. And that's when you lose me, because I don't feed into stuff like that. Well, now he said that he meant to say this. Okay, how you know he meant to say? We can't talk no more, because now what you're trying to do is manipulate the truth. I don't let people do me like that. And that's probably why some people don't necessarily care for me. I can't give them a song and a dance. The only thing I can tell them is the young man gonna get justice, because I know that he is gonna get it. And it ain't got nothing to do. Stop. It ain't got nothing to do. Stop. It ain't got nothing to do with me or you or nobody in this chat or nobody on this YouTube. Okay, not unless we got some witnesses that are in the bushes. It's got everything to do with the FBI and the Memphis police investigators working their case and being the professionals that have tied their case up. Okay. Thank you, A.W. Bird. I appreciate that so much. It has everything to do with them. I always say, follow the trail of the investigators. They know what has happened. If you listen to Chief Davis, she let you know they knew what happened from the time that the young man was assassinated. They knew exactly what had happened. And it ain't changed. The only thing that has changed is they probably got more names of who was involved. That's it. And they working to get them. Okay. So, you know, what we have to do is we just have to, just pray for them to get a speedy justice, you guys. Y'all, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Start, Remy. Okay. All right, you guys. Yeah, them people knew what ALR happened. Why? Y'all think they sent police to the spots off top? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now you got people saying Marcus involved because he ain't go to jail. Oh Lord. I tell you. Two Pistol says, take us out. Okay. Like I said, you guys, I always appreciate you guys, tuning in. And as I always say, and I've said from the start, I'm never, regardless of what people say, I'm not trying to solve Young Dolph's case. Y'all know why I'm not trying to solve it. Young Dolph got a dream team. He got the feds and he got the Memphis police investigators. He got a dream team. So his case is going to get solved regardless. And they already know what has happened in his situation. And so, as I always say, what we have to do is just wait it out. We commentate and talk about it because we want justice for Young Dolph. Okay, and pray for a speedy justice. That's what we do. I know that's what I do. Okay, that's what I do. I just wait it out and let whatever happens and wait for these indictments to come on down and just see him get justice as God said that he would get justice. And that ain't got anything to do with me or nobody else. If I never got on here and vlogged about this case, Young Dolph is still going to get justice. If nobody ever said another word about this case, if everybody started vlogging about Young Dolph's case, stop vlogging about Young Dolph's case, okay, he's still going to get justice. It don't change nothing. It don't change nothing at all. Because he's got a dream team working on his case. And as I said, I'm happy, because what happened to him represents, I get emotional because it represents a bigger problem of what's going on within our community. A problem that is now being forced to be talked about as far as especially what's going on in the music industry, the rap industry. And for people say, well, it go on in the country too. They kills each other. Why we can't kill each other? You sick. Okay. People that think like that's sick. Okay. Wherever it go on in, it's got to stop. As Black people, we just got to stop. We got to stop doing this, taking each other out and then thinking we can get on social media. Social media has become like an evil entity in some aspects of it and brag about it. How could you get on social media and brag about taking out another human being? It's almost like they use killing as a sport now. I took your man down. You took my man down. You can't claim that body. I mean, how barbaric is that? I mean, that's sick on a whole nother level. Y'all can't claim that body. We got that body. Niggas that think like that, they need to be up under the jail. They too sick and dangerous to be in the community. They can't live amongst decent people. You want to send fear. You say my name. I'm going to take you up out of here. No, the Fed's going to take you up out of here. That's the type of stuff we don't need or want in our community. And you have gotten beside yourself. Okay? How in the hell can the black community support a lot of these artists, and then they send destruction back to the black community? Just because they know they're suffering and need a little money and will do anything for some money. And then there's a lot of mental illness, because it is. They're taking advantage of that. And that makes them terrorists in our communities. Terrorists with money that we have funded. And so we got to stop doing that, okay? All right, you guys, we did our 3 hours. I definitely appreciate you guys for being on. My voice is going hoarse. I really, everything, that we said was I'll disclaim it, allegedly. But we ain't really said nothing about nobody. We ain't said nothing that wasn't true, but we'll say it was allegedly. Okay. And I really appreciate you guys getting on, but ain't no need in the evil eyes looking in here. Okay, because all we just talking about it. Okay. The Memphis police is the one handling it. But I think sometimes people start going into other folks' vlogs to see if somebody is going to say something that has not been said. Hell, they don't know what all the Memphis police and the FBI got. I'm sure everything there is to be said and told has been. Okay, so if it came in this chat, it wouldn't be nothing new. Okay. But anyways, y'all, like I said, I truly appreciate you guys for hanging out with me for 3 hours. I appreciate y'all's support. I want you guys to know that I truly do love you guys. I always like to say a prayer before we get off, because I know we have evil wishers and entities and evil eyes that surround us. I just want to thank God for allowing you all to wake up this morning, to be on this chat with me for 3 hours, all those that came in and out. I ask God to shield and protect all of us. No weapon formed against any of us shall prosper. Any lying tongue, any evil eye, and any evil thing that try to rise up against us will be condemned. Okay? Will be condemned. Okay? Every evil spell or spirit or word that has been sent at any of us, we reverse the curse and send it back to the sender. And may that evil curse prosper on them in less than 30 days. Their own curse. Okay? We thank God for prosperity. Okay? We thank God for prosperity and for blessing us all. I want to thank you all for tuning in. May God bless us all. I love you all, and I will talk to you later.